So we can all agree that the internet is full of hot, steaming hot garbage, especially with ads. YouTube is ridden with so many nonsense ads. So like any sensible person, I started blocking the ones that I definitely didn't want to see. I didn't want to see anything like political or trying to bait me into like conspiracy theories or like bad vibe videos. And that's when you start getting the good stuff, when you start blocking everything. So one day, as I was scrolling my YouTube Shorts feed, I came across an ad. It was vertical in format, but was like in the shorts space, so it was around 3 minutes. And I scrolled right past it, because one thing I'm not gonna do is sit and watch an ad anyway. But I scrolled back, because bright movement and flashy lights, right? I scrolled back to this video, selling what I can only assume is pickle brine. Obviously, like, I don't have much of an interest in pickles to watch a full video on it, but like I said, flashing lights, bright colors, and a really off vibe. This video from the get-go was very strange to me, so I watched a few more seconds of the video. Distorted voices, glitchy faces, and like a script that made no sense at the time. The video prompted the viewer to call a number. So I screenshotted it and reverse image searched the screenshot. And I found one, maybe two Reddit posts about it with almost no replies. And one thing about me, if there's a mystery, I want to solve it. This was so clearly a rabbit hole and it was going to have lore. And that excited me. So I waited a few days, and sure enough, someone posted a video recording of the audio of the call to Reddit. Still not a lot of traction, but at this point a Reddit community was created. Probably like 1,000 people. I can actually check right now. It's not even breached 1,000 yet. It's 91 people have joined this subreddit. So, small mystery. I had to get at it before anyone else could. I haven't even seen any videos on this, but I was very excited to look into it. So I clicked on the channel that I got this ad from, and it was at Follow the Tapes, and the channel was called It's Getting Late, with 3 periods or an ellipsis. This is relevant. These like ellipsis / periods are important for later in the story. I don't know if these specific ones are, but just remember dots are important here. With a little more investigation, this was created by 𝒟𝒻, and it's looking like an ARG, alternate reality game. Some famous ones you might remember is the �តុ𝒔𝓁 one from a while back, post Nickelodeon. That's an ARG, but it's basically a multimedia mystery a bunch of people want to solve. Very fun, very cool, and this is the first time I've seen one in like its baby stages, you know? And it's trigger warning or just like content warning in general. It is spooky, scary, a little bit. There's like implied violence. Nothing too crazy that I can remember has happened yet, but it definitely has an unsettling, like almost uncanny feeling to it, and I definitely put it in the category of analog horror. Ooh, can I stutter anymore? But like I had said, 𝒟𝒻 created this. He has been nominated for a Webby for some other works he's created. He's very big in the space. Produced a Pulitzer Prize winning, sorry, I was reading his bio and read in the middle, but he's an editor, sound designer, voice actor, and writer, okay? So he created this. Very cool. It's Getting Late, or Follow the Tapes, depending on what you want to go by, is an ongoing project. It still has chapters being released. There's still more to explore and discover, and it is in its baby stages. It started a couple months ago in like January. So this, if you guys like this, and if this does well enough, I guess, or probably not even, I'm going to keep making these little videos recapping this for others to see and watch. But it is ongoing, so this is part 1 of a recap of the current state of It's Getting Late. R's spitting. Okay, with all that being said, let's get right into it. So the first video on It's Getting Late's channel is chapter 1, The House with the Strange Light. Just a quick word. The Reddit community has been so helpful in just finding out more stuff about this. So it'd be a shame not to shout them out. The creator of the Reddit community is called 𝒯𝓂𝓁𝓁3147, and 𝒬𝒃 are the 2 moderators of the Reddit community. And Sky actually created transcripts for every video and episode that's come out to the best of their ability, because, it's hard to understand some of the things being said in the videos simply because they're made like that. But with all that, let's talk about the house with the strange light. So this is all audio voiceover. We start off with the narrator. Keep this name in mind. I'm going to refer to him as narrator or the narrator from now on because he hasn't really been named yet, but he is a reoccurring character, and there are some characters that are reoccurring and that do have names. So if you want to follow along, you might want to write this down or just keep it in your memory. So the narrator opens up by talking about the scene in front of him, how old it is, how it looks, the wide field he's in. Field. This is an important location. He said it looked gold, and a direct quote is, how the sun lit the wheat. Throughout this first chapter, the narrator talks about his mom, uncle, father, and older brother being out of the picture or had disappeared. He's exploring this field, and he spends most of the time looking for his car while narrating to himself. He talks about how his brother is anxious, or was. His elder brother was an anxious guy, and how his uncle kept tapes and labeled them meticulously and specifically. In the woods, or the field that he's in, he finds a tape that looks like his uncle's, but he knows it can't be. He says it can't be that because it's in the middle of the woods, especially after so long. He goes on and keeps talking about memories he remembers of his mother. He mentions coyotes. So just a few things, specific things he mentions are coyotes, which I thought was oddly specific, and later on will continue to be a theme. He talks about how he misses his mother and how he could barely feel his hands. It might be cold where he's at, but he can barely feel his hands, right? He can't find his car, and eventually he finds a house with a strange light, hence the name. He sees a beat up old truck and his brother's voice warning him, don't go in. when I say his brother's voice, I mean like, oh, I can practically hear him. Like, he's not like actually hearing it. So the narrator enters the house, which is unlocked, and notice there's half a log still burning in the fire. It's got a nice library, a beat up old truck, and it's just a nice, quaint little house. And in this house, he finds an actual tape player. He goes, all right. And that's the end of chapter 1. So not too much to work with, but we do get the beginnings of a lot of important plot points, like the tapes, very important, disappearance, coyotes, cold weather, and cars. And of course, the field. The next upload on this channel is not a chapter. So I'm just going to call it upload 2. So the chapters go in like order 1, 2, 3. This is upload 2 in the channel because chapter 1 would be the first upload, but this is upload 2. Sorry about that noise. So upload 2 is a bunch of question marks stringed together. That's its whole title. It's, let me see, 7 question marks is the title of the next one. When you click on it and you view the video, it opens with a grid of a VHS tape. It whirls for a while, and a deep voice whispers while it spins. The comments pointed out that it might need to be reversed or spectroscopically analyzed. The audio reversed, the image spectroscopically analyzed. From what I could hear, it says if you question mark and last try, and everything else is gibberish when reversed. It might say maybe it's time to stop at a certain point too, but again, I'm not sure. One nice thing about this ARG is that the creator leaves comments and responds to comments. So one of the comments the creator responded to was, "Hello, I hear you. Can you hear me?" Which the creator responded with, ellipsis, I hear, ellipsis, you. Ellipsis is 3 periods together. These periods are super important. Another one of the, hello, I can hear you, can you hear me, is one of the codes that this person has commented. This is the tapes is another comment. He left sorry for the awkward pause. Not awkward, just silent pause. This is the tape is another comment, just under the video, not in response to anything. So one can assume this is the tape that narrator put into the tape in the house, but we're not sure. Another comment says 313, in which the creator says 11, ellipsis, 1, ellipsis, 3, ellipsis, 3, ellipsis, 1, ellipsis, 3, ellipsis. This is what the Reddit community has called the number dot code. Number dot cipher. I'm not sure if this one has been solved yet, just because of the 11 in it, right? But basically the number dot cipher is, depending on the number of dots after a certain number, is a letter or symbol. There's periods, commas, and semicolons. But 11 has no translation in the number cipher from what I can see. It goes up to 9 and starts at 0. So we're not sure. I'm not sure what it says. If anyone has any idea in the comments, that would be awesome. But the rest of it says also nothing, because I just realized just now as I'm speaking that 1 is not followed by ellipsis, and neither is none of them are followed by an ellipsis. They're actually 4 periods after each. So it's 11 ellipsis, 1 4 periods, 3 4 periods, 3 again 4 periods, 1 4 periods, and 3 ellipsis. So doesn't translate to anything yet. Chapter 2 is where we really start getting some information. Chapter 2 is called The Abandoned Car. It opens, the image you see is a stereo that says Zenith and Stereophonics FM on it. There's a red filter over it, and it is essentially audio only. So there's no visuals for this one. And as for most of the chapters, there aren't any visuals. So in this episode or chapter, we get introduced to 2 new characters, D and Graves. It might also say Greg or Gray, but I hear Graves every time I listen to it. And the community, Sky, when doing the 𝒮𝓂𝓷𝓁, when doing the transcript, put it in as Graves. So, D and Graves. And also the Midnight Riddle Master, but that's for later. The D and Graves work at a car towing company. It's midnight, or it hits midnight in the episode. So it's very late at night. They're both working a night shift, and they speak on the walkie-talkie. Basically, D calls to Grave over the walkie-talkie and tells him, hey, paraphrasing because it is lengthy. Each chapter is like 8 to 12 minutes long, but I'm not just going to play them for you. I'm giving you the summary. So D basically tells Graves from the base where the towing company is. She's in-house. He's out on the field. Over the walkie-talkie, she tells him an older man called in, an old fart, as she says, called in and wants you to pick up this truck on his property. It's been there almost all night. Right? And he's demanding it gets taken out. So Graves says, send me the coordinates. Where is it? And we get the name. It's in Haydensfield, or Havensfield, but let me see what Sky. I wrote Hayden because it did sound like a D. Either Hayden or Havens, right? So we're in Haydenfield. Dead in the middle, as D says. Graves goes over there, and it is field in just private land in the middle of almost nowhere. So while on his way over there, Graves can't really find the truck, saying it's not here. And she double checks. Now in the car, Graves is listening to the radio, and we get the Midnight Riddle Master for the riddle hour. It's essentially a podcast, a radio show. And at midnight, he does riddles. But before the riddle, he talks about some ads. He brings up Mr. Pickles has a new brine that he's working on. Now, Mr. Pickles and brine, like I said at the very beginning of this, is the ad I got that was very disturbing, and that phone call that was very uncanny from Mr. Pickles, right? And his new brine. We get an ad for Carrie from Mosstown has some bugs to trade. You know where to find her for references. And then continues, says something, and then $5 entry. Bring your mother and your wife. Now for a little dance. And then music. Remember this, bring your insert woman in your life. This is brought up again. I don't know if Carrie is brought up again, but Mr. Pickles is definitely brought up. Bookmark that in your mind. A lot to remember, I know. The Midnight Riddle Master continues with the Brush Report, the first you've ever heard of it. And then he continues with his riddle. The riddle goes, "You hold on to me, yet never reach me. You will see me, but never hear me. You must escape me, but not for long." Graves then complains about how it's a waste of his time and calls Dee over walkie-talkie and says, "Who's that old fart that called us in? Yeah, give me his number." Dee is responding to him. Obviously, he's like, Dee gives Graves the number, and then the episode or chapter ends with Graves going, "What the hell is that?" The community is like a little bit divided on what this means. So some answers are the past, sleep, and dreams. There's a big emphasis on sleep in this story, so that I personally thought it was sleep, but I think the past is also a very strong answer, and of course dreams is. There's also, someone also said it might be mother, which we'll talk about, or mother brain, which we'll talk about later. So the creator replies to a comment that says, "I came from an ad. Hello?" with ellipsis, "hello?" ? Another reply was to a comment that said, "Where is he? In the field? His family? Brother? Mother? Uncle? What's with the house? The tape? Spectogram?" In which the creator says, "They're around." So obviously this comment was like, what happened to the other guy? And he's around. Narrator is around. But Graves and Dee, keep them in mind. Chapter 3 is ... 4 dots. More coffee? Most of these have descriptions. The descriptions of the last one was a quote from the episode or chapter from Dee that says, "Some old fart called in." The description for this chapter is, you do not want to go out there. Trust me." So this is from the perspective of the narrator. Initially, I thought it was Greg just because both boys, and I forgot men could be other characters in this story, and that they don't even sound even a little bit. It was quite some time between when I saw chapter 1 and chapter 3, but I digress. So this is separated from real life audio to the TV audio. We have the narrator, and he talks about how weeks had passed, but it was all the same night. I'm going to read this whole section because I think when the narrator talks to himself in his head, it's very like long and like strange sounding, and I think they might all be important. So narrator says, "It was like weeks had passed, but all of it was the same night. Night strangers floated in and out, siphoned off the road in their metal capsules. Metal everywhere. Chairs, tables, metal tools, shoveling dead animals and scrambled miscarriages into their stomachs." Very gross imaging. Like I said, trigger warning, content warning, violence, bunch of miscarriages, obviously. Dead animals, just like overall content warning. If you're not into scary things, now is the time to bounce. We then hear a woman speak who, every time someone speaks directly to the narrator, it sounds very distant and echoes. So it's like, blah, 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 blah. Like it, not a good example at all, actually. It's like I'm talking over here, like they repeat it. So the waitress talks to narrator and asks him, like, are you hungry? Do you want food? More coffee? Name of the episode chapter. And the narrator agrees. So this, I think this was labeled wrong, but the waiter is like, got it, wave me over if you need me. The narrator then says, the woman waiting for someone had been here. Oh, wait a minute. My notes look different. Oh, I didn't even talk about visuals. So sorry. Ignore a little bit of what I just said. Not completely, because those are all still quotes. But the visual is a security camera, assuming. The top left corner says cam sky, and the top right says recording or rec. The bottom middle says TCR02-17 ANMLY, or anomaly, with no vowels except for Y. Nope, just kidding, A is a vowel, with no O. And 23:52:11, like the time. The footage is of a streetlight in the hail. The video sounds separate from the audio, and it does kind of look like it repeats. So, the woman waiting in here for someone had been here as long as me. I recognized her from somewhere. Or maybe I was first. That's right. I recognized her face the moment she walked in and sat at the counter. As she drank her coffee, I thought of asking her where I knew her from. This is the narrator in his mind. The waitress comes back and asks him, can I get you anything? Graves is like, what? He says, The waitress is like, oh, that's right. You're still good on coffee. You still good on coffee? What am I saying? It's already full. She mentions that Graves looks sick, like he could use a meal, and that his hands are shaking a lot, and that he was here last night, which the narrator, I have it labeled incorrectly. Narrator says, I was. She then is like, I'm gonna bring you toast, eggs, and bacon. Says, all right, and then in his mind says, or maybe it was her, but the woman at the counter drinking her coffee was like someone out of a photograph. The more I looked at her, the more it made my head hurt. The woman at the counter asks the waitress, is that guy staring at me? What's his deal? And a second woman, or I'm just going to call girl because she sounds young, they begin talking about him. They mention that they don't recognize him, that they don't see his car, and that he might be from out of town or homeless. He had come in a while ago and was just sitting there. They mentioned how it had been hailing a lot, and they did not want to go outside for even a smoke. So the waitress goes into an office space and turns on the TV. Static plays, then music, then a drama. She flips through channels, something about a missing mother, a sunny boy. Actually, let me read you this whole part because it's very weird. The reason I am mentioning the TV channels is some of them are reoccurring bits or segments here on different TVs throughout the experience. So channel 1 is two men talking about their dealings and special services. Channel 2 opens with, Old Man Jenkins, say hello to your mother, sonny boy. My mother? Channel 3. A game show with goats. Then back to channel 2. That's right, your mother, sonny boy. She's been down in the swamp. I haven't seen my mother in 27 years. 27 years. Say hello, moms. And then what might be the mother or what might be something else is just gurgling and growling. Channel 4, special. That's all it says. It's Channel 5, efforts too, so a new station. Channel 6, some sort of like real estate show about tiny homes. And then eventually Channel 7. Might be Channel 8 actually. Not sure if these are separate. But on the TV, a conversation between a boy and a girl begin, and they start doing like cheesy rom-com stuff. And the end, they say, "Oh shit, do you see that?" See what? Holy. Right? Another waitress comes in. Mixed up. Woman B, the girl from earlier who sounded young, is the one going to smoke. My bad. The waitress then comes in and talks about how the woman the girl in the show looked just like the woman B. She even talks like you, the waitress says. Woman B says light and it imitates art. And in the background, the TV girl and boy are having a conversation still. The waitress mentions how the weirdo left and the girl and how it's hailing really hard. The boy and the girl talk about how the boy was in the girl's dream and he was walking in a field talking to himself. The dream was peaceful. It was gold out, sunny gold field, like chapter 1. Another reference to that. And that the girl was floating next to him like a ghost. And they go, "Where's that light coming from?" The snow / maybe hail on the screen reverses in direction, so it starts going up. The screen glitches with indistinct noise, and the video ends. Again, comments say, "I don't like coffee. Can I have orange juice?" In which the creator responds with apple. Funny. And another comment that just says, "Yo!" And the creator says, "Yo!" ellipsis back. From this chapter, it sounds like something has happened to the narrator where he's not in his right mind. He doesn't know what's happening. He's not aware. He can't remember things. So maybe some head trauma. And it's unclear whether this happened before the house with the strange light or after. But it might have been after. Now, upload 4 is titled $3 and in all caps, "Order your very own ellipsis." The description is formatted funny, so this is going to, I'll probably type it on screen, but it's going to suck to have to listen to. Sorry, but it's the word arrived, but each letter is spaced out. 2, period, my D, period, OOR, so door, but there's a period between D and or, and $2. Comments says $72 brine with free shipping. I've got to buy my brine here. Which a user, someone named Hugh Man, like Hugh Jackman, but Hugh Man, who is in the comments of every single episode and usually gets the most responses out of the creator, replies, "I shall then also purchase my brine here. The last place charged $72 in shipping alone." Which creator says, @HughMan, good. This is the second or third time, if you include the ad, Mr. Pickles is mentioned with his new brine. This ad also played in chapter 2. This is also the second mention of bringing a spouse or wife somewhere. So it opens up. This one's kind of scary, right? It's big. It's short, but like a lot happens. So it's a black screen at first, heavy breathing, and then walking. Then a political ad. This is one of the ads that played at the diner. It starts with, hey you, I know times are tough. We're all buckling our belts a little tighter. And it continues. The camera pans down, revealing a very dark room, like someone's being held hostage. Inferred. Again, this not confirmed. But it looks like this person is in a very dingy room and dingy dark room. In front of a TV. The TV screen says, "Buy our brine, 𝒯𝓂𝓂 Technologies." Remember 𝒯𝓂𝓂 Technologies. That's important to remember. With a black and white barrel cartoon guy behind a conveyor belt of bottles of brine. The brine is coming out of this cartoon guy, and he's pouring it into these bottles. The camera keeps moving, revealing like an orange pyramid that glows that kind of looks like a Himalayan salt lamp. And then to the left, we see a lamp in a bottle. It zooms into the flame, and then we hear the ad continue, where the man speaking introduced himself as Mr. Pickles. So, again, I guess it's not a political ad, it is for Mr. Pickles. The man holding the camera begins coughing while zooming into random space to the TV, into the barrel's face. I'm not sure if the barrel is Mr. Pickles or if it's like a separate guy, but the barrel has a little face and it's smiling for most of the time, and then when he zooms in, it looks like it's in excruciating pain and then flickers back to a big smile. Mr. Pickles talks about very ominous things like, I don't want your father to be home crying. Dads and fathers are very important so far. Claims that their brine recipe is as old as the origins of farming. He gets very irritated. His behavior is very erratic. And the cameraman starts to audibly panic and zooms in on different spots of the TV manically. The barrel becomes angry, and Mr. Pickles says, it's the feeling you get at night before you lock your door for bed. When you're brushing your teeth, look over at your spouse. She's kinda... With that smile, you start to notice all the wrinkles. Crazy time doesn't slow for anyone. Then it cuts back to the normal ad of just promoting the product. And the cameraman zooms in on a cartoon security camera watching the barrel. He zooms in so close we can see like the little pixels, and this TV isn't like a flat screen. It's one of those old school chunky ones. Like if that falls on your foot, you're cooked. He zooms into the spout connected to the barrel while breathing heavily. Barrel's angry again, back to the smile. Mr. Pickles says the FDA won't allow brine to be sold in stores, but he'll deliver it to you. The image moves and the barrel becomes like mirrored, kind of like that mirror TikTok filter, where it's like the blue line moves across the screen, but it's just like mirrored strangely. I'll show it on screen. And Mr. Pickles has something against cucumbers. He starts talking more nonsense. Something I did write down as that stood out to me was, I don't like to call it trauma. It's just bad memories. Check your pantries. The camera zooms out so we see the room again. The image distorts. And it becomes one of the weird flaky / dusty GIFs from one of the posts. And the post being community post, which we'll talk about after going through all this. The camera zooms in and the video ends. And that concludes chapter 3. Or upload. The next upload. So, I've got news, is the title of chapter 4. This is an official chapter. It's 9 minutes long. This one's a little different because it's a bit chaotic and is the first indication of the fact that these episodes might not be in chronological. 3 different conversations are going on at once. There's the audio from the TV, the audio in person in the building, and the audio between Dee and Graves. It takes place in presumably like the base, and it's chapter 2 from the perspective of Dee with some bonus content, right? We don't hear the Midnight Riddle Master here, but we do hear the TV and a girl. So, again, we have the beginnings of the conversation between Graves and Dee, and a woman steps in. She hands Dee the ticket number, and Dee types it in. Haven is how the community is calling this town, but I'm basically going to focus on between the girl and Dee and the TV because we have already kind of discussed Graves, and it really has nothing to do with him. Dee has a dog who has been whining the whole episode, right? It's hailing again, still. It could be still or again. Again, we're not sure where this takes place or when. And Dee turns on the TV against the girl's will. By the way, these voice actors are so wonderful. And this is so well written. Like, it feels like natural conversation. And the audio quality is excellent. It's so well made. I can give it nothing but like praise. We get an ad for brine, then an ad for a pill that best to read the ad, right? It's really hard to describe. The ad says, you know that feeling when you have a certain song stuck in your head, but all you get is static? Well, blank. Right? No, nothing there. I'm not gonna say nothing there. There is something there, but it's not really like, you can't really hear it. I'm going to just double check to see if I can hear anything real quick. Okay, upon further investigation, you definitely can. I did just write it down for you guys. So, ad says, static. Well, that's what this little pill is for. We've partnered with our pals at 𝒱𝓬 to bring you the latest in neural gut resplendation. Ask your doctor today. Warning, do not take if you haven't slept for less than 10 hours. Important, this is referenced again. Sleeping less than 10 hours. 𝒱𝓬, again, works with Mr. Pickles. Do not take with caffeine, alcohol, and or water. And then a show begins to play. The ad continued after that, but it's really hard to hear. Talking about like maybe head pulsing in your left thumb, call poison control, rush to the nearest maybe heart facility. Something about children or adults the age of 35. And then a program starts playing. Are you ready to spin the wheel? The girl's like, can you turn this off? And he's like, in a minute. But it sounds like the Wheel of Fortune vaguely, right? Channel changes. Talks about like maybe a dating show now, or just like an old western. And Dee goes, so I've got news. They have lost or do not have the girl's car. The girl had a ticket and everything from them, but they D cannot find her car in her records. D is like, this is the first time this happened. And we know the company is called Moe's Toes. Like MOE'(s), and then toes is TOWS, not like feet toes. The woman's like, I'm gonna call the cops. What am I supposed to do? The dog is whining. The dog might be named Ladybug. She refers to it as Lady or Ladybug a lot, but again, I'm not sure. But I think the dog's name is Ladybug. It's very cute. Ladybug is freaking out. The woman calls herself a cab. D is freaking out. She's like, please don't call the cops on me. On us. And D goes outside to check to make sure it's not in the yard because it's not in their system. The woman's like, fine, you have 5 minutes. D brings Ladybug out with her, who is still whining. And D goes outside. Well, it could also be the girl leaving, because D says, hey, god damn it. So it could also be just the girl escaping. The conversation between Graves and D continues. Graves is like, there's no car here, D. And he's like, I will check. The conversation between them grows faint, but Ladybug's audio and like whimpering is clearly audible. You can hear her sniffing as she seemingly moves away from D. Ladybug whines and sniffs. The conversation between D and Graves is completely unhearable now, and we get a faint, low-pitched version of the anomaly sound, as if slightly distant, and then like rattling and stuff, and wind blowing. Now, what is the anomaly sound? So glad you asked. So, it's like a specific noise that happens almost every episode that we've dubbed the anomaly sound, because it does happen at the end whenever the anomaly does her thing. Like, oh, what was that? Anomaly sound. Its thing, their thing, whatever the anomaly identifies it as. So next we have Chapter 5, Midnight Riddle Hour. Your dad said he'd be home tomorrow night. So let me pull up my notes. Again, this is not in chronological order because of the last episode. It's unsure. And that, before we move on from I've Got News or Chapter 4, the description is Ladybug, I know Ladybug, hailing again. No creator comments, right? The image or like video is like an upside down image of maybe like a scrapyard. The advertisement is by the same people who made the pickle advertisement. And based on the description, it appears to be related to a short titled Dot. 4 dots. Dot, 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 dot. So 1, 2, 7 dots. 7 dots. 5 dots. Right? And spaced out like that. So just keep that in mind. The description of this video, again, your dad said he'd be home tomorrow night. No comments. Another security camera says Cam Haven 2 recording and TCR02-17 ANMLY anomaly 235211. It's hailing, or it's a storm, lightning strikes, and it switches back to just whoa. I tried to say 84 things then, and none of them were the right one. The image is of a house first, and then lightning strikes, and then it becomes just the the sky. This universe has like really weird TV that everyone thinks is normal. So keep that in mind. Some highlights from the Midnight Riddle Hour is we get a mention of a new invasive tree called Mother with a hive mind that's moving into suburbia. The universe has really weird TVs, shows, searching cadavers for a rib cage full of money, competitive cutting, the Wheel of Fortune where like no one's won before, and that this tree might be poisonous, and it's bad news. So, TV audio and real life audio. The TV starts with with an ad for a gut pill. Neural gut risk, bleed duration, ask your doctor. Sleep less than 10 hours. Then it flips onto a game show host talking about spinning the Wheel of Fortune. Do not take with alcohol, blah, blah, blah. And in real life, a mom is asking her son, do you want cheese? What do you want to eat, right? The son is watching TV. Or man, but it's probably the mom. And the mom mentions, your dad will be home tomorrow night. It's just a last minute job. TV plays for a while, and the narrator cuts in. This one I think is really interesting and beautifully written. So, get ready for this. As he watched don't know what that cadence was. As he watched his favorite game, he found himself periodically staring out the window instead, remembering in grade school how he had learned the water cycle, the 3 Ations, they called them, precipitation, evaporation. He struggled on the 3rd. The harder he thought about it, the further it slipped away. Pause. He continues here, but I'm just going to pause right here. It hails a lot in this town, in Haydensfield, sorry. So, it might be relevant that he's bringing up precipitation, evaporation, and forgetting the word condensation. He continues, just a word, and suddenly, he couldn't think of it. What exactly did occur above the clouds? What was happening up there? Something he understood, but had never seen firsthand. His dad would tell him that every great astronomer suffered their dedication being wholly through a single sense, and that was sight. They could see so much of everything they postured on, but never heard it, never touch it. Even what they saw was limited. As he flitted between the TV in the window, and the rain outside, he felt it. He could feel me watching him. What does that mean? Good question. The son in this episode is not the narrator. So it seems like the narrator can read minds and or enter spaces without being seen. Somehow the narrator is able to tell us the son's thoughts and recognize that the man kind of feels his presence there. So, I wouldn't really say this is talking about the narrator's father, but more so the son's father. The mom turns on the news about the invasive tree. Some weird shows play before the tree channel comes on. It's early in the morning. It's breakfast time. We get a Reaching Spaces ad. This is important. So, the Reaching Spaces ad is, you're dialing in, but you aren't in control. You're just a variable. A capacitor, a dioid. Okay, these are words I've never heard of. Riding those frequencies 100 miles an hour down the open highway. Where you're going, that's not up to you. Your life begins now. Find out more at Reaching Spaces. We're listening. And then Mr. Pickles. I call the Mr. Pickles ad that always plays. It's either Times Are Tough ad or I've Got a Deal for You ad, right? This is the ad I got that introduced me to this. The mom talks about a report coming in soon. The man says, I gotta go. The mom says, do you mind if I change it? Sure. And she changed it to a documentary. The documentary says, I think it's British, I can't remember, but he's like, green and glorious, known for its overwhelming predation among resident plant life, the mother brain spread rapidly, draining nearby plants of their nutrients, sucking the soil dry. Her seeds are carried by birds and smaller flightless mammals. This tasty treat has become... Oh, and he's cut off. And then he continues again. Locals and environmental advocacies are at odds. Some see the mother brain as being invasive, impossible to tame, and as you'll witness now, so it's growing really quickly, and something about brushing porch, and then something or someone says, first time you heard it. So I believe that this is a part of the anomaly. We'll talk about that later, though. We hear the Midnight Riddle Master come back. The man tries to solve the riddle. Thundering and crashing sounds from upstairs. He runs upstairs. He's like, what happened? And the mom is like, I just need help getting up. Something bit me. And he's freaking out. He calls the ambulance. And that's the end of Act 1 and chapter... What is this? Chapter 5. So Act 1 has 5 chapters. Now Act 2 begins. This next one marks the beginning of Act 2, and it is an upside down question mark. Like, you know how in Spanish they start a question when writing it with an upside down one and then a right side up one. The YouTube description is he knows it's almost empty with spaces in between it. And the author's site description is he knows it's almost empty. It opens with a video about, let me see, camera footage that says play SP and 00028. The footage is glitchy, the audio is too, everything is glitchy. And as someone summarized, in the comments, it's a lecture on a social experiment where they essentially left a shampoo bottle almost empty, but refilled it just enough so the person can get a single squirt out of it. The observation is that even though this defies reality, that for 90 days you can be almost out and the subject never actually checks the bottle. So they replace it and the subject would just get that one squirt and never actually check the bottle. They then said they did the same thing with toothpaste. Comments include, I'm kind of miffed. I'm sure when I checked this video the other day, it had a string of numbers and periods for the title, and now it's a simple question mark, right? And the creator responds with an ellipsis, 3 dots. Chapter 6 is the visual is a fire, and it's woodland noises, and it's 2 women talking. The description is it's all about that log cabin, baby, which has basically become the fandom / community slogan, because it's so random. So one of the girls, as explicitly stated, is named Zoe, and the other girl is possibly D, because it sounds just like her. Like, I'm pretty sure it's D. Zoe doesn't like Tara and has to lend her car an annoying amount. Or not doesn't like, she's upset with her and annoyed. I'm assuming that Zoe and Tara are sisters. Zoe used to work at the diner, which might be Majors, potentially, and talks about how people go into the field and never come out. Dee knows Zoe's dad well. Dee has an aversion to singing. Coyotes howl. The girls get sleepy, and the anomaly noises are made. No hail. It only hails when in town, I guess, and the girls are hiking/camping. And they might have disappeared. Next episode, again, time jump, called, episode 6 was ... Are there words? Because in reference to Zoe and Dee are playing the guitar, and one of them is like, are there words to the song you're playing? And Dee's like, I don't want to sing. Majors chapter 7's description is doubles do nothing. It's longer than all the other episodes because it's 20 minutes long. It's the same camera 21 footage from a different angle as the streetlight, and it says TCR 02/-19 ANMLY 000456. It opens up with a reporter talking about a new reporter talking about feeder tech and Mr. Pickles reprimanding someone. The man is crying and sent to the caverns, /caves. She talks about the disappearances. An old man comes in, complains about the slot machine and losing. A key theme throughout this is sleepiness. The anomaly puts people to sleep, presumably. That's what we assume happened to the girls last episode. The anomaly put them to sleep and then took them because of the field. The midnight riddle hour might be sleep. The pills from earlier are for sleeping. The reporter is fired / leaves for refusing to talk about something. Dee is here, so it might have been before she disappeared, or maybe Zoe only disappeared. And Majors is owned by someone with a very thick accent. We know Ladybug has disappeared, and the owner is kind of cruel to a young worker named James who quits after the last straw, and then more anomaly noises. Upload 9, warning, severe weather alert in effect until 6 a.m. In an old-timey TV font, it says, we're experiencing technical difficulties, please stand by, and the DRM spinning at the center of the screen. It's a radio warning for hail and thunderstorms. The image distorts and it ends. So those are all the videos that have been uploaded. But there are YouTube shorts uploaded. But let's talk about what's on the actual channel first. So, the shorts. The first YouTube shorts is titled ... 3 dots, 4 dots, and is a grainy and static image of an upside down skeleton rotating. It's not Morse code, so we're not sure what these dots mean. The next one is in the similar vein. A lot of dot actions. Right? Sorry, give me one moment. The next is titled ... 4 dots. A string of more dots, a string of more dots, a string of more dots. So, 1 dot, 3 dot, 7 maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dots, 5 dots. With a weird tiny screen in the center with some grainy stuff in it flickering. Dogs are barking like reverbed in the background and around moving, and it's like moving around, so it looks like someone's like hiking late at night. Got nothing on this yet. One theory is that it's a date. The dots are a date. So 14775 or 14th of July 1975. And the description is #stuck. Third one is we're listening. A guy is standing victoriously as techno numbers pass by with the text, "Your life begins now." The sound is Sudden Signs by Ethan Sloan. There's a code there that someone deciphered as Morse code as find out more at Reaching Spaces. Okay, this one's a little bit, because some of it is in Morse code and some of it's in Morse code and crossed out. If you decode the Morse code, including all the crossed out parts, it's find out more at Reaching Spaces. But if you decode just what's not crossed out and put it into Google Translate, you get "you will die" and "die." Some people also get a messed up version of Reaching Spaces. But Reaching Spaces is that website from earlier, that startup. Mind you, there is a real startup called Reaching Spaces, so it's not that one. The real Reaching Spaces website is very on brand, and I will probably link both of them in the description. The next is the latest ... with the audio sounding like that video of tornado sirens harmonizing. It's in black and white with a hand holding pills and techno numbers passing again. No description. The numbers are 4... 8... 6 3 dots, 3 2 dots, 7... 3 5 1 4 1 ... Deep, like sea noises almost, really blurry, but it looks like a guy folding laundry to me. I'm not sure what it could be. Those are the number dot cipher is Find Me Tara, Zoe's sister. Someone comments, "Who's me Tara?" And the creator responds with ... question. There's also another cipher that's just for symbols, but that one's really easy to decode. It's just whatever symbols correspond to your mobile device's letters. The next 6 is the title of the next one. The title of the next one is ... 6. The short 6 is titled ... It's sideways in a black and white video of a chef cutting tomatoes. The numbers are on screen correspond with the number dot cipher, which means "call us, we are waiting." I'm assuming it's the Brian number, because the guy, that's the only number there, right? Mr. Pickles and the deal guy, who are might be separate characters, might be the same character. Episode upload 7, short 7 is ... space ... space ... 5 more dots, right? Numbers and letters flash on the screen, and the numbers 9 ... 8 ... 8 ... 3 ... 8 ... 5 ... 7 ... 6 ... 9 ... 2 ... 5 ... 7 ... are prominent and don't move. This spells out 𝐿𝒉𝓁𝓁 no clue what that could mean. Next is one with the symbol cipher. It's a tape that says stand out. That says, the video says please stand by, and the audio is outside, take shelter, maybe. The title of this one is Wednesday. It came out April 28th. That Wednesday was April the 30th, and the premiere for the next upload being Majors. No audio for the next one, just the sound of a plane taking off, and ... It could also be like a weird, messed up version of the anomaly noise. But those are all the shorts. There are only 9. Most of them didn't have audio, so that was way quicker to get through. The channel has posts. So, post 1. It's, again, symbol cipher with a grainy GIF of a, like, dark man just standing. Dark, like, you can't see him. He's like, invisible. The cipher translates to you see me watching, which could be we see you, do you see me, are you watching? The only comment the creator replied to was, that's just Jerry. And he responded with, Jerry's coming over. So, Jerry is the name of this man in this hallway, presumably. The next is a gif of a dark hallway and a TV at the end glitching out, which translates to, are you listening to me? Or, sorry, are you listening is the symbol cipher. The next is order yours now, with a grainy gif of brine, of what the comments say is brine, or like dust and particles. Someone in the comments says it's a face and limbs, which I don't see even a little bit, but I mean, it could be. The next is your father won't be coming home tonight, with a grainy gif. The still parts of the image are the TV, which is the screen is yellow, a bed, a pillow, and a bowl of maybe fries or popcorn with something gray behind it moving like crazy. It kind of looks like curly hair, like type 3B curls. The next is Morse code with a grainy gif of something moving. It looks a little bit like palm trees, and the Morse code translates to 4D security breach. The next is grainy flowers, a grainy flower gif in black and white with a symbol, a number cipher that says it's all about that. Next is I have a deal for you with a gif of TV static and smoke and $100, not a real thing, $100 bills falling from the sky. The next is the sky, I tell you, with a black and white gif of like tentacles moving across the screen and maybe like water or liquid. It's very like gross looking and like suctiony in a way. And then the final and latest post is an upside down gif of black and white stairs with the symbol cipher that says what goes up must come down. The next episode I believe is called Up Up and Away, or like Up Up Up. So it could be in reference to that. It has not connected. The phone number is the deal guy doing a sales pitch, and a deep voice interrupts with numbers. I'm gonna say question mark whenever it's a number I couldn't really hear. 2 3 1 3 6 8 6 5 2 2 1 question mark 3 2 3 9 5 4 5 I, or it could be just 5. Sorry. Does that mean anything to you? Doesn't mean anything to me yet. So The number is spooky and scary. There are 2 websites that I found that could be related. That Reddit found. Thank you, Reddit. There's Reaching Spaces, which I'll show on screen the sheer amount of responses you could do, but it's basically you click a button that says reach out, and it'll give you options and like text, and you can click what you want to say to it, and it'll lead, depending on what you click, it leads you down a certain path. It talks about Coyote Jack. It talks about girls disappearing, and it has some codes it has to offer. So I'm going to read the 3 stories it mentions first, or its responses to the 3 stories, and then I'll talk about the codes. So it asks you if you want to hear a story and da-da-da-da. So, Coyote Jack. Coyote Jack was near death when he saw it, a bright light on a hill. It reached out to him in the form of a hand, although he knew it was only a trick of the mind, as all minds wander when they begin to slip. But he reached his paw out. But Coyote Jack's paw was no longer a paw. It was a hand. And just like the hand that was reaching toward him, only his had 6 fingers, and the hand made of light had 10. So the follow-up is what happens next. That's the only option. Only Coyote Jack knows. The response, I'd like to hear another story. There are no more Coyote Jack stories. Actually, what I meant was, how about a fun picture instead? I did a great job in putting both websites' pictures together, so that's here. I'll show that now. But it, depending on what you click, is the collection of different images it gives you. The Secret Cavern. When you ask about the Secret Cavern, it goes, how do you know about that? I don't know anything about that. Good. Good what? Bye. No option. When the girl is clicked, a girl had disappeared. This made people who knew the girl very confused. Eventually, their confusion turned into sadness, and then their sadness turned into deeper sadness. The longer the girl was disappeared for, the deeper the sadness grew, until its depths had grown so large that the people had forgotten what they were sad about. ... Options are, I don't think I like that story. What story? I can't remember. Never mind. Or next time, when you've forgotten everything, don't forget 6.9.7.4.2.3.9.4. Which means yourself. So do not forget yourself. It gets very deep. It talks about the hailstorm. It talks about how it does not have a plate. It's not their place to say some things. You can be really nice to it. It gives you pictures if you're nice to it. We're sorry, but we've decided to move on to another candidate. We wish you the best of luck. Good night and 5-4. It has certain quips. The other riddle/code is next time, when everything is out of your control, do not forget. And then a cipher that means raise. It talks about shoe boxes. I'm probably going to link this, or I'm just going to link the Reddit page itself. But so you guys can play with it. It's very cool. The second site is called Tom's Awesome Website. It'll give you pictures of tapes, but if you click certain things, it tells you about 𝒯𝓊𝓂𝓷. It tells you about sky fires. And none of this is connected yet, and this might not be a part of this one might not be a part of this ARG, but it was linked in the Reddit, and it talks about once you click tell me more, it reaches phase 4 required 𝒂𝓁 !V1 and 3 I hear you like tapes. It talks about Armageddon, suicide, and a citadel. Again, not sure if this is connected. It gives us a list of names. Well, I'll put them on screen now. The author has a site where they update it for episodes and stuff like that. So far, my theories are Kara is probably the missing girl. Or, sorry, find me Tara. Zoe is the missing girl, sorry. Tara has to find Zoe. From the YouTube shorts, we know that Zoe is calling out to her. We know something happened to Zoe. Dee is missing. We don't know what happened to Dee, but we know that Zoe went missing or disappeared, and she wants Tara to find her. The anomaly might have something to do with that mother brain. Right now, if I'm using my creative juices, I would say that feeder technology is doing something with the mother brain and poisoning the food of Hayden'sville, or somehow kidnapping people and forcing them to work in the factories or something. Feeder technologies is definitely doing something with the mother brain. We believe that the anomaly is part of the anomaly, but not the whole anomaly. So there's a strong emphasis on dads. Someone's dad has gone missing. Someone's dad's gone missing. Zoe's the missing girl. Something happened to Dee. What happened to Graves? What has happened to the narrator? All questions. Is the narrator a part of the anomaly somehow? Is it a part of the hive mind? So here are a couple misreddit theories. One theory is that Feeder is putting the seeds of the mother brain inside of their brine. It's taking over people as a human host and growing once you eat the seeds, and that this is contributing to the memory loss that we're seeing in the narrator, that people are struggling to remember things. We know there are these coordinates aren't true, blah 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 blah. The anomaly. The anomaly put the girls to sleep, which, range. The anomaly has put the girls to sleep, and then it's taken them. So memory, sleep, family, all like big motifs. There's also, the creator commented under a random video. The video was titled POV, you just got back home from mining. And it's, I believe, a Minecraft video from a YouTuber with 33 subscribers, 19 views on the video. And the creator commented, I ... 𝒮𝓊𝓂𝓷𝓚. The creator of the original video, �scratchy778, posted this in the Reddit thread and was like, this ARG posted something weird to my video. There's a Reddit, there's a Discord. The author has something called Frank and Corey Make a Story that might be related to it, but we're not sure yet, and there's no reason to believe so yet. This has nothing to do with the actual startup called Reaching Spaces. There are some people who are like, I found a link into the deal guy, So it also might have connections to his other works, but we're not sure yet. He has another show called The Process. I would think you guys might be into that. But for now, that is the full current recap of It's Getting Late. We are in Act 2. When a couple more episodes come out, I'll discuss those. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.